Did High Benador pay Spotify to include new genes in different playlists to help them break Billboard Hot 100? Is paying to get into a playlist or get promoted by Spotify just another form of payola or a natural part of music marketing? Shouldn't a company as big and as influential like Spotify be fair and agnostic in order to help artists, especially those with no marketing money to get noticed? These are hard questions to answer, but just like before, I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'll just lay down the facts and things that you can consider. But first, let's talk about the basics. Hi! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I would really appreciate it. And also, please don't forget to share it if you can. And also, you can get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. Now, let's go back into understanding more about playlisting. What is playlisting? Playlisting is when songs are added to a playlist on Spotify. There are playlists by independent music influencers and playlists by Spotify itself. Playlists by Spotify are defaults. They are actually pushed to every subscriber, so more listeners are actually following those playlists. More importantly, streams from a Spotify's playlist are not filtered. This basically means that songs that get added to more playlists will get more streams, get better payouts, and do better on the charts. This leads to a lot of questions. Number one, how do songs even get added to a Spotify playlist? Well, there are different ways. Maybe a song goes viral, or maybe a song gains enough streams and the algorithm of Spotify actually picks it up and adds it to a playlist or two. Or maybe they were selected by a Spotify employee, or maybe because the label paid for it through a partnership with Spotify. Yes, this leads to even more set of questions. If Spotify claims that their system tracks what songs get more streams, and then it adds it to their playlist, how sure are we that their algorithm is actually objective and unhackable and it has never been tampered with? Has anyone actually audited their codes? The answer is no. No one has audited their codes, and they don't have to present it unless they get a court order. How many streams is enough to be included in the playlist? There is no fixed answer to this question. However, some artists actually actively boost their streams by using streaming farms, or by going to independent playlisters or music influencers. They get a lot of followers. To get into their playlist, you do need to pitch and then pay for it. Some of the most popular pitching services are SoundCampaign, Groover, and Submit Hub. The idea is that by getting more streams from their followers, Spotify's algorithm will start noticing you. Then they will get you in Spotify's official playlist. But the bigger playlists are created by Spotify itself. But who exactly in Spotify is creating these playlists and who's deciding what gets in it? Well, the answer is that Spotify never disclosed it. They claim these are algorithm-based. Their system tracks the songs getting more attention and it gets added automatically. Now on to the next point. If labels or artists actually pay to get included in the playlist through a partnership, isn't this a conflict of interest? Isn't this payola? Or is it really just part of music marketing? Of course, labels need to promote their artists. Of course, they should exhaust all resources within their disposal to give their artists a greater chance of success. That is literally what they are there for. The contention is how close is the nature of playlisting to the concept of payola. And this is where it gets a little dicey. In payola, you pay and the DJ plays the song. That gets counted in the charts. With playlisting, a listener or subscriber can skip or dislike. In other words, it still leaves a little bit of power to the listener. With payola, the song gets played, and whether or not the listener likes it or changes the station or hates the song, that becomes irrelevant in the charts. Spotify claims that paid partnerships and programs like Discovery Mode are there to actually help artists get noticed. Back in 2020, the House Judiciary Committee actually questioned Spotify's Discovery Mode. For those of you who don't know, Discovery Mode is a program in Spotify that artists can actually use. They actually need to give up a portion of their payout to get promoted. Some people call it marketing. but other people actually see it as a conflict of interest. If you're a platform that could influence global music trends to a point where you affect awards, recognition, and even the next artist that will hit the cover of Rolling Stone, you need to be agnostic. Now, here's something we need to understand. Spotify is actually a for-profit business. It was created because they wanted to make money. Everything else comes second. Sure, they want to help artists and help the music industry, but they want to do it because they know that it's just going to make them more money. Now, I can make the argument as a marketer that forging partnerships and accepting payments for playlists and discovery modes and stuff like that is very bad brand management, because my primary concern would be to maintain the credibility of the brand and the name. On the long term, what you want is to be as unbiased as possible, become as credible so that every information that you provide would be unquestionable and you would be trusted. So if that was me in Spotify, I wouldn't do all of those partnerships. However, and I will make money some other way. Now, there is one thing about that suggestion is that Spotify is the biggest music platform in the world, and they're very successful and they make a lot of money. On the other hand, I'm just a YouTuber. So they win. Now let's look at it from the point of view of independent artists, specifically those with no marketing budget. Aside from discovery mode, Spotify has been partnering with many artists, and for K-pop fans, the most popular partnership is with Blackpink. Everybody in the world with an internet connection and a Spotify app was actually able to listen to Blackpink's album for free, for as many times as they wanted, and in the order they wish, for the first week of release. No filter. But not everyone could, of course, afford this. Many artists won't be able to get the same opportunity to approach as many subscribers and have them test their music. Even if assuming artists are willing to give up their royalties to get promoted, they actually won't get anything out of it, because if everyone is promoted, then nobody's actually promoted. And the other problem is that many artists may not even be earning enough to afford the discovery mode, even if they're actually willing to give up their share. Is playlisting being used to manipulate the charts? In the beginning, fans actually think that when a song is not playlisted, they weren't promoted enough by their agency or they didn't get enough support, so fans would actually complain that the company wasn't doing enough. Now, people are using playlisting to dismiss or delegitimize the success of an artist by claiming that playlisting is the only reason a song is actually getting streams. This is the case for many artists, but then the talk actually became louder when New Jeans were added to a lot more playlists than most K-pop acts and got into Billboard Hot 100 less than 6 months from their debut. However, there has been no proof that HYBE paid for the playlists, and even if they have, it's literally their job to promote their artists. Way too many K-pop fans are deeply bothered that New Jeans and many other HYBE artists are actually becoming successful. They seem to have forgotten that a generation ago or less, every artist SM, YG, and JYP launched were actually successful for their era. This is not to say that the whole Spotify partnership and discovery mode are totally fair. Now, I think Spotify and other charts should not count the streams coming from paid partnerships into the charts. After all, the paid partnership is there to allow artists to find new audiences or go in front of their new audience. It's not to rank, it's actually to find a new audience. It should still be the audience that will decide who gets into the ranking. So unless the person or the listener actually puts the song in their own playlist, it should not count into the charts. I also think that Spotify should be very, very transparent and visible on who they're having a paid partnership with. So it should be there in the playlist if it was actually added because of a paid partnership in any size, form, or shape. Now, do I think they're going to do that? No. They're too smart and too greedy to do that. But Spotify was actually never designed to be fair. It was designed to be profitable. Just like any other business, right? They make no bones about it. Number one is profitability and everything else is second. So I don't really know what people are expecting. Do people think that they're just going to change their vision and mission and prioritize fairness and morality over profitability? That's not going to happen. That's not what they are there for. The minute they stop becoming profitable, they either will change all their gears to turn the company around or shut it down. It's not worth it anymore. However, it's actually the solution actually lies on the hands of the listeners. It was actually the listeners that made Spotify what it is right now. They supported it, they downloaded it, they use it, they hype all the achievements of all their favorite artists on the platform. And then they became angry when Spotify did the one thing they were created to do, and that's to make money. If you want to change the system, it has to come from the listeners. It's the listeners who actually made Spotify, and it's the listeners that can unmake Spotify. Now, that's what I think. I would love to hear your ideas. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave them in the comment section below. Just please be respectful. And you can get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And thank you very much. Till next time.